Did you know that the rainbow is actually a complete circle and not just the arch that we're used to seeing? It's all about your perspective. When you're sitting here on the horizon, you can only see the arc. So you have to have a bird's eye view, like from heaven. When you have a heavenly perspective, you can see the full picture, which is one eternal round. That is how God works. When I looked into this, it references one eternal round 5 times in the Book of Mormon in the Doctrine and Covenants. What awesome symbolism the circle has already, because the circle is never ending, which represents eternity. When I was teaching temple prep, it was all about symbols, and a circle represents eternal and heaven, and a square represents the earth, for the 4 corners of the earth. In temple symbolism, we often see a circle within a square because the temple is where heaven and earth meet. The rainbow is often associated with the promise that God gave Noah that he would never flood the earth again. And I was curious, why do they call it a rainbow? Well, a bow and arrow is like a weapon, and God hung up his weapon of war and decided to never punish and destroy the earth like he did in Noah's time. But he also lifted up the city of Enoch. The city of Enoch was the first Zion, and the people were so righteous, there was no poor among them. All people were alike, and God lifted up that entire city up into heaven. So the rainbow also represents that when the new Zion is built on the American continent, that Enoch will be able to return again to the earth. The symbol of the rainbow is rich in meaning, but I love knowing now that it's a complete circle, because the infinite nature of God, one eternal round. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and he works in patterns. And this circle that represents infinity, this also reminded me of the infinity symbol that looks like a bow. When you think of the rainbow, I want you to think of eternal and infinite, because that is the perspective of God, is eternal and infinite. He has that bird's eye view where he can see the whole plan. And this is why we need to trust in God and lean not unto our own understanding, because I didn't even know that rainbows were a circle until just a few days ago. And when I went to the temple and was preparing for this temple prep lesson, God showed me little signs in my own life, and I actually saw a rainbow the day after I went through the temple. So God's very aware of us. God is constantly giving us signs, but the rainbow is a covenant promise that he will never flood the earth again.